Everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Today we are going to be making a couple of vases. We're going to do two-tone colors. And what I did was, the last ones I had done, I really liked the shape of the molds that we were working with. So this time I went out and I bought the two others that go with, I guess they're not really with the other vases that I had made like this. Same company makes them. So I bought their vases. This one's a little off, but I'm not bothered by that. And what I might need to do, I filled them up with water, figured out my measurements. I might have to see about putting something on this corner to hold it down. Now I had thought of tape, but I know tape doesn't always necessarily hold down silicone, but I'm wondering if I should, and I wish I had paid attention when I filled it with water, but the weight technically should hold this in place. What we're going to do is, I recently bought the brightest pair of running shoes in pink. It's they're so cool looking of color. And I also, for those of you who live in Canada, we have a company called Sweet Legs, and you can get some really funky and colorful with patterns leggings, and I happen to have a pair that are Halloween related. They're orange with some black pictures on them, and my husband had commented to me, if you go out with those orange leggings on and those pink running shoes, I will not be seen with you. Now the leggings have been around for a long time. I just wear them around the house now, and I thought to myself, but pink and orange go together as far as I'm concerned. Now, I am very colorful when it comes to my leggings, and I am not afraid to go out in public in them. So I thought what we would do is we're going to do both these vases. One we are going to do in pink and orange, and you let me know in the comments below what you think. And I personally think pink and orange go along and together just fine. And I do have a really wild pair of leggings that have multiple colors in them, orange being one of them. And I've worn my hot pink, and they are hot pink. I don't even think I have anything on my table here that would even come close to representing just so I'll help you out with this. They're Skechers. I got them at a place called Shooper here in Canada. They had them in red, purple, and the pink. And I mean the pink, well, maybe they are pink. And I absolutely love these running shoes. I needed to get new ones because my old ones had absolutely no tread on them anymore. And I was not willing to risk my life for them. And when I saw these pink ones, I just had to have them. So I want to make one of these vases in pink and orange. I don't know what the other one's going to be. Once we get the one poured, I will sit and think about colors, and then we'll come back and reconvene, and we can make the other one. But yeah, I wanted to do this so you could let me know in the comments whether you think orange and pink goes together. Now, I appreciate, honestly do, that some people are, not as vibrant with their clothing, which is totally cool. You got to be comfortable. You do you. And when I saw these, I am going to be 60 next year. And I'm like some of those women who are, getting up there in age and going, I can dress in bright, colorful things and be totally cool with it. I have sorted 2 cups of my ceramic resin. All right, that's done. We're going to mix the colors into the water first and then put it in. That'll be easier for me and give me a little bit more time. I need to get that out, and I want to get another one of my wet wipes. One of these out, call them what you will. Anyway, and the other thing I want to do is I want to put both colors in here. I was thinking of trying, now, if I didn't have such a confined area, I was going to pour both of them at the same time, but I foresee that not working out well for me, and I don't want all over the place. We're going to mix up our colors. We're going to do them in here. When I do them in here, I'm going to do them a little bit like this, and then I'll flip them around and then do it the other way. So we've got a little bit of mix of color going on, and then we'll pour them. It'll be a lot easier in that container. And I think we'll do the odd shaped one first, which I'm not bothered by that whatsoever. So let's mix our colors up. I did shake these up, starting to settle a little bit. I don't know how much pink I want in there. Yeah, my running shoes, oh, they are so cool. Oh, yeah. And as far as how much of this goes, it works out to be about, it'll be about 173 mils or grams of the ceramic resin that's in this. So let's just mix this up. Yeah, you should have seen me in the store when I bought the running shoes. It was just priceless. It's like, these are so cool. I just love them. You can't miss them. You really can't. Yeah. Sometimes you got to go bright or go home. So I went bright. The red ones were pretty cool. The purple ones weren't so much. They were, the purple, and I love purple, but they didn't seem to scream at me. The red ones were pretty cool as well. Not a huge fan of red though. And that's why we went with the pink ones. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Now we may have to add a little bit more color into these. We'll have to see how it mixes up at the end of the day. But we know we don't have a lot of time for mixing. So what's the weather doing for people wherever you are? We've had places in Canada that have had snow. BC has, Calgary has. I think Northern Ontario has. And I don't know if anywhere down in the States has gotten any snow yet. We seriously need to make this pink. I don't even know if this pink's going to be bright enough to give me the pink I want. It may not. Hopefully it will set up brighter, but I'm not sure I'm going to get the pink I'm looking for. This is pretty much a baby pink here. And I put a bit of red in it. Unfortunately, I don't have my red nearby to add a little bit of red into there. Let's get this done because we don't want to waste too much time. I'm not sure. I think the orange may come out a little bit darker than what the pink will. But I guess if they're both soft, sort of pastel-y colors, then maybe we'll get what we're looking for here. It almost looks yellow, not orange. You work with what you have. I guess what I could have done, and maybe what we'll do is to see, is I'll get some of the other, like the J Diction I have out, and we'll see if we can't make this, because this looks yellow, not orange. So I think we're going to have to get dense pigment. Yeah, again, we'll have to see. It may darken up to, the color I'm aiming for, potentially. Stir the pink up a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to set up a little bit. I think if you're ever going to do two colors, always make sure you mix the first one up again before you attempt to do anything with it, just because they do start to set. I just want to make sure I get... All right, let's pour these, and then so hopefully you can see. When your workspace just isn't really big enough, Okay, so we'll do it like that, and then all we're going to do is turn it around so I get my colors sort of poured on top of one another. This may or may not have been a good idea, so just, you know, bear with me. And if this doesn't, you know, sort of flow the way I want it to, then we'll just deal when we do the next one. Okay, we'll start up here at the top. And hopefully we'll get some sort of something or other, right? Feel like I'm getting more of the orange, if you will, than the pink kind of going, but we'll see. And we'll jostle it a little bit up here at the top. Just give me a second. I just got to get the rest of this in here. Bear with me just for a minute. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to work with the darker pigmented colors because I don't foresee this giving me sort of the effect I want. So the reason, and I did it in my last video as well, going around up at the top here, was to do our best to avoid any air bubbles because you can get them. Now I can see it a little bit going in there, so we're gonna want to be careful doing that. But I just want to do my bestest to avoid air bubbles, right? Yeah, I foresee this being not my pink orange that I want it to be. I think it's going to be more of the orange, and I'm saying that because I just feel like the orange, I mean, if we look in the inside of these containers, trying to side by side like that, they're like, this orange is a lot brighter than this pink. So we're going to have to work on that with the next one we do and see how it comes out. We might be surprised and the pink might come out perfect for us. I might just need to set up a little bit. So let's just get that off to the side. I'll clean this up a little bit. All right. There we go. All right. All right, all right, all right. So here we go. Let's just get that off to the side. Now this did set itself down, so we're down where we need it to be. And I want to be really careful not to go off the side because that would be a bad scene. And I got a little piece of stuff in here. There we go. Those two pieces up. Okay, I'm going to go clean up what I need to right now. We'll come back, we'll do the other one, but we're going to use different pigments for the other one to see if we can't. And maybe too, what we'll do with the next one is I won't mix the colors into this container. I'll just pour one and then the other, and we'll see how we end up. All right, we are ready to carry on. Got my stuff measured out again. And all I did really was pull out the red by J. Diction. And we're going to do our two colors first in the water. And then we're just going to add a little bit of red at a time to see if we can't get a more deepening of our colors. Again, this one is, you know, slowly starting to set up. I'm not expecting, to be honest with you, because looking at the sides, we're going to see much of a difference. In this one, I think it's going to end up being more the quote orange than the others. So let's just mix up our colors and see what we can do with this one. And then, as I say, we're going to pour it, you know, one and then the other. We're not gonna do what I did the last time. I had hoped that maybe by doing what I did that it would come out okay, but well, apparently no would be the answer to that one. So I'm just gonna dump orange in there. A little stir stick out. Oh, and just to mention that Eye Candy has come out with a couple of new colors. And one's a pink, one's a gray. In the pastes, again, I think they've said on the new ones that I've seen just recently that, again, they will be, once they're gone, they're only gone until they get more made. And they actually were pretty colors. The pink and gray together, just, yeah, that's another really nice combination. So I just thought I would mention that to you as well. Okay. Now, get 2 stir sticks going here. And hopefully we can make a difference in our color. And then we'll swing our vase around as we're filling it up to, again, try and get a bit of a marbling effect going on there. So we'll just put it, I'm going to be as careful as I can with the red, because I know how powerful it is, and I don't want it to like take over the colors. And hopefully it doesn't, because if we end up with, yeah, I'm kind of afraid that the orange or the red's going to have taken over. And it's like I don't have white to throw in this. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do the effect I want it to. Yeah. Now again, I don't know what's going to happen when it sets up, mind you. So here we've got a little bit better from an orange perspective. So that's not too bad, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my... So let's add some more of this orange in here just to try and... And that was the reason I only wanted to do 1 drop. So I think for the orange, we're going to be okay. So we're just going to leave that there. Careful, Natalie, do not knock that over. So I very carefully, I do wide, like with my hands, I'd like do my best just not to run into things. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to put any more of this red in. As I said, very pigmented. For anyone who's worked with it, you will know what I'm talking about. Put a few more drops of this pink in and see if we can't, you know, persuade it back to being pink. And again, it may, as it sets up, be more pink. I don't know how much of a difference we're really going to tell between this. And I don't have... See, it's unfortunate when you're dealing with having to mix colors together to actually getting... And pink seems to be one of those colors that, granted, you know, they get it in the paste, but to try and get a really nice pink in a color, like in a pigment for ceramic resin, it seems to be, yeah, more of a stretch. So I don't know. I almost wish I did have some sort of white, but I don't have white. I don't have white. So what we're going to do is we're going to just mix these up anyways. We're going to see where it lands at the end of the day. Who knows? Maybe because of the fact we're dealing with white, such a stark white color, we might come out okay on this. So let's just mix these up and see where they land. Get that out of the way and let's do this. So we might be okay. We might get a, you know, a really pretty pink once we get this mixed in. So let's see what happens. Always hard to tell until you get it mixed in. And this is coming out, it's not a really bright orange or anything like that, but it definitely looks orange this time versus the yellow from earlier. So that's good. So that's what we've got so far. So let's see what we get. Yeah, well, there we go. We might be okay. Always deceiving when you're... It's definitely got more of a pinkish flare to it now because of the red. So we're doing a little bit better. Some more pink. Keep okay, that down to the side there. I just want to take one of my so we definitely have a pink now. And we definitely have an orange, although a soft orange. We have orange. All right, let's see what we can do. So we'll do a little bit of each. We'll just get this going. I'll do it from, well, you know what? We'll do it this way. Yeah, see, there'd be no way I could try and do it the other way. Just a matter of blending our colors, right? And I thought, I've got my turntable. Oh, Natalie, there's no way you're going to pull that one off either. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to keep doing this the way I'm doing it. I think maybe we'll be better off in not mixing the colors. So we get more definition with our colors than if I, you know, sort of pour one into the other. And this diffuses it on either side, which is nice. I think this will have definitely been a better way to have done it. See, you just, as I always go back to saying, you got to play to figure things out sometimes. Now, if only I could remember the things I play and not go, oh yeah, let's try this again, and then it doesn't work. Yeah, I think this time, fingers crossed, we're going to get a better effect than had we stuck with, you know, what I was getting with the other one. Probably have to mix that pink up too, because it's probably starting to set as well. I'm going to pour the orange down at this end. Pour pink here. We're getting there. Again, to get rid of air bubbles, so there's one that's just come up there. Go away. Thank you. And we'll just pour this one like this, just because I can. And then what we'll do with a little bit of orange that I think I've got left in this one. No, not much, not much of anything. And we'll just throw this in here. So we do a bit of a matchup, eh? All right, let's just, so I think color-wise, we're going to do better on this one than we did the first one. I feel like we're going to have a better plan. And then while these two are setting up, I am going to do another piece, but I've got something I want to try, so I just need to make up a coaster piece, and if it does what I'm hoping I can do it, then I will do a video on it. I'm going to sort of cheat and do a behind the scenes test first before I attempt to show you my idea. But yeah, I think this one's better. I think adding that red's going to make a difference, and I also am hopeful that when we pull this second one out, that we're going to get you're going to see the orange and the pink better than you're going to see it in the first one we did together. So we'll just have to give them an hour to fully set up. So we'll base that hour on this one here. And when we're ready to take them out of the mold, we'll be back. Okay. You remember earlier how I said sometimes you have to play. So while these were drying up, I did a couple ideas just popped into my head, and I thought, ooh, let's play. And I'm not going to show them to you because I need them to be future videos. But again, sometimes when you get an idea, as far-fetched as it may seem, or you're not sure if it's going to work or not, give it a go if you can. See what happens, because you never know what new ideas you're going to come up with. So it's kind of interesting because of what I've done, and I'm going to show it to you in a future video. I have a couple more things I want to test out with what I've done, and then I'll share it with you. All right, let's get these guys out. Okay, rewind. Let's get these out of their molds. And I'm wondering, so hopefully we won't be too disappointed. Well, maybe we will be. Let's not be disappointed when we, don't get this to turn out the way I had hoped. Now, granted, as I say that, what we're going to have to do too is let these dry up. So what I will do, in all fairness, is we'll get these out, and then I'm going to have to let them sit, and then we'll look at them 12, 24 hours from now and see if we've gotten a little bit of a difference in coloring. And if not, then what it tells me, and will be information for you in the future, is just, when you do these, use colors that are totally different from one another. Again, because we're dealing with a white pigment powder, or a white powder, we know that for the most part, pretty much any color we mix in with it is going to give you a pastel color, versus having a specific solid, pink in this and orange. We've got colors that are somewhat blending together because of the pastel that's coming through, which is and is not helpful. But it depends on what you're attempting to do. If we were working with resin, obviously we could, make the pink exactly the color we wanted, get the orange the color we wanted, and then, pour it, perhaps the same way, and get a much different result. So this is, quote, the orange and pink. Hopefully we can get that orange and pink coming a little bit brighter. If not, again, you could paint this, you could decoupage it, you could leave it exactly the way it is. We will come back, as I said, once this has had an opportunity to dry out a little bit. So let me show it to you again. I know you can rewind to see it, but here's what we're dealing with right now. Not really anything on the sides here that is, wow, you can see a difference. It's not that way, and we will let it dry out and see what happens. I seriously need to make these out of resin. in order to, you know, just because there's a lot more you can do with resin for things like that. I mean, you could make it sparkly, solid colors, mixing colors, translucent, opaque, clear. Yeah, there's a lot of options with these, and I love the shape of them. I think they're really cool. I might have to see if my sister is interested in any of these for her stand, because they're different, they're unique, and if we can find a way of doing them, you know, from a coloring perspective that's unique and, you know, extraordinary, if you will. You know, I look for stuff that's different. When I go out into stores, regardless of the type, I'm looking for different. I'm looking for something that is out of the ordinary. And these are going to have to be cleaned up really well. Okay, I just want to put that there for a moment and just clean up this piece. I'll have to go put the others in a bit of a bath and clean them up. Again, I've said before, if you're going to use ceramic resin in a mold and then you decide to do resin, ensure you clean it out really well so that you're not picking up the remnants of the ceramic, because it will impact your piece. I've found that out. All right, so we can see a little bit of the pink in this right now, not a lot. We're, again, as the water dries out of this, you know, hopefully, or perhaps we will see more of a shift in the color, which would be cool if we can get the inside. Not really a lot happening there, so I think we're for sure going to have to let these guys dry out. But at this point, I mean, if nothing else, if we, you know, sort of go basically, you know, on what we're seeing here, as I clean up my hands and whatnot. Okay, enough of the cleaning, because I can finish that up later. I love the shape. This one over here, I'm just going to lift that up by here and put it back there. Can you still see it a little bit? Not completely, but so this is the one that had the bit of the wow on. It would have been that side, right? If we reverse it, that side. So really, it has a wow in it, but not, I think, enough. You might notice it by looking at it, but I don't know. I don't mind it. Again, it gives it a bit of a different perspective. So I am going to let these guys dry out for the 12 to 24 hours. It'll definitely be 12 and a little bit more, and then we'll come back and we'll see how they look and if we've got any distinction of color or not. And then what that says to me is, if I don't have much of a distinction, that's totally cool. You don't need it. I might think about doing like totally, let's say a yellow with a blue, a red with yellow, but colors that are contradictory to each other so that we can get more of a design happening. Well, I'll see you in a few hours once this has had time to dry out. All right, welcome back. We've been 12 hours anyway with these two pieces, so we'll just have a look at them. I'm not seeing much of a difference from my vantage point here, but we'll have like, so let me get it sort of close. So there's a dividing line here between the orange and the pink. And then we've got this blotch of pink here and then over here. So in retrospect, I would have been better off using two totally like different colors. So, you know, perhaps red, green, or yellow, blue, purple, you know, just colors that aren't as close to each other as what these colors turned out to be. But I'm sure I can find some way of decorating these up so that they, you know, they'll work, you know, neat as vases. And this one, yeah, this one, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, the fact that of how I poured this one is why we're running into the issue of it blending as much as it did. I had hoped it wouldn't blend the way it has, but again, we've got two colors that are, are close to one another as such. Like we've got, you know, definition here for sure that there's pink. However, on the sides, the way I poured it, I mean, I can see it, but it's hard to make out that there's actually pink in this. If you hadn't seen me pour it, you'd probably think there was no pink in there at all, except for maybe right here at the front at the top, right? So I definitely have to remember in the future to have colors that are really different from one another. I mean, even if we look at this bottle here, the blue and then, you know, the purple at the bottom, I mean, there's a big distinction between the two of them. And I didn't unfortunately get that when I made these pieces. So you're not really getting the full effect of pink and orange going together. A little bit better on the second one than on the first one for sure. However, I do think they're very cool vases. They're just unique. They're different. And that's, as I've said before, is something I go for when I'm wanting to make things. I want the unusual. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these two. I do have some other ideas from a resin perspective, so I'm going to have to clean these up really well and go from there as far as potentially making a unique piece. But I have some interesting, I don't want to give away the secret, but I bought something from Michael's that I want to see if they'll actually fit in the sides of these somehow, and I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to have to play. I might have to find a different mold for what I'm wanting to do. Anyway, I thought it was a cool video. I wanted to give you an idea of, you know, just how pink my running shoes were, and that orange and pink actually do go together as far as I'm concerned anyway. Thank you for watching again, and let me know in the comments what you think of these two particular units. And again, I mean, I think about making a shaker out of these somehow. But yeah, now I have to decide how I want to color these in. And then the other projects I was kind of working on the side, one didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to have to rejig how I'm going to do that piece and see if I can get it to work in a reverse way, and hopefully you'll get to see that in an upcoming video. Anyway, thank you for joining me again in one of my videos, and I realized that if I wanted to get up to video 300, I was going to have to potentially do more than just one video a week, because it was going to take me a long time to get to video 300, and I'm not sure I'm still going to be doing videos by the time I get there. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments below if you have any. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye for now.